So, I'm just doing this in one take because it's late, and I just want to let you know that when I was about halfway through this video, I wanted to completely redo it. I really did. But the whole reason I'm doing this YouTube channel, well, there's plenty of other reasons, is I'm just trying to get better, more comfortable, and not be so perfectionistic, and just get the shit done and get it out of there. So without further ado, let's get going here. Ah. Oh, fuck. Nope, it has to be the one take. I completely would contradict everything I've just said. Welcome to my first ranking video. Today we are taking a look back at the past year of cinema, and this is my personal ranking of the films, to each their own. We'll be doing the top 21 films of 2021. See what I did there? 2021 and 21, 2020. To see my full ranking of all the films I watched in 2021, go follow me on Letterboxd. That's where I post early reviews and ratings of all the films I watched. Now, before we get into it, a few notable films that I did not get to see this year were Drive My Car, 9 Days, The Novice, In the Heights, The Worst Person in the World, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and Mass. If there's anything I didn't mention throughout this video, please comment down below and we can talk about it in the battlefield of the comment section. As one who didn't read the book, I found this as a film within itself to be a brooding visual spectacle, and I'm sure it means more in the grand scheme of things, but I did find the ending to be a little anticlimactic. Also, what was up with his mom checking him out when they were undressing? As one who grew up with Sesame Street, this one hit a little bit closer to home. The documentary successfully tracks the show and how it changed how we present entertainment to children. And while it was like a nice little lesson in the history of Sesame Street, it just never really dived too deep on anything. This film is an absolute masterclass in action, although the story feels overstuffed and pacing definitely dwindles in the later half of the film. And hey, it's got a good companion piece to the Shang-Chi bus scene that is wonderful in its own way. This film was a great send-off to Daniel Craig as Bond. It borrowed elements from the older movies as well as Craig's generation of films. Yeah, it was cheesy, but it was emotionally weighted enough to modernize the franchise and successfully put an end to the era. Rami Malek's villain was the weakest point of the film though, as he didn't bring much of anything new to the table and was kind of one note. This is a very insightful look into the simulation theory. Unfortunately, it's told mostly through Zoom interviews, and it feels like more of an explanation of ideas and themes as opposed to really diving deep on anything. It does take a really wild left turn in the third act, though, that kind of leaves you speechless. The film is great, and it delicately tells the tale of a horrific crime amongst the perspectives of the three main characters. My only problem was Matt Damon's story, which takes up the first act and is less interesting than the rest of the film. It does bolster some of the best art direction and cinematography of the year. This film was a nice little surprise. It was a delightful dark comedy that has some of the best cinematography of the year. It's cold and hazy, which perfectly goes in line with the whole theme of being stuck in limbo. It starts out with one of the best openings of the year. Never thought it would come to this. It started with a key. It excels at stylistically telling the story with its loose plot. Although when things all start to kind of get ramped up and heated, the film just kind of ends. It feels like there should definitely be a part 2 to this story. And that scene that showcases character exposition through peak color is just sublime. It's the best video game movie we got, and I'm sure it's gonna be that way for a while. What? It's a precisely told mystery thriller, and it has an awesome ensemble of characters with all the actors really giving it their all. It's a nice, campy, whodunit horror throwback that's definitely worth checking out. On the opposite end of campy fun, this is an incredibly intense documentary. It's a raw and engaging look at the process that was had to save these boys. And the sheer willpower on display here is absolutely captivating in these especially dark times. So this film was very close to being in my top 10, almost solely because it was probably the best theater experience of the year. I mean, the monster fights in this movie are the best they've ever been. You just really feel this movie, between the music, the special effects, the cinematography, and yes, yet again, the worst aspect is the humans. One day they'll get it. Oh god, oh boy, here we go. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, everybody, sorry about that. Don't mind me, we're just gonna slow it down a little bit now. Because it's the top 10 of 2021. It was more lighthearted in parts than I was expecting, but also darker in some parts. Essentially, it was just a little messy in tone, which is the per usual with James Gunn. What it really nailed, though, I thought was the comic book vibe between the transitions, fun characters, and the rather relentless action. Gunn seems to have a similar issue amongst all of his work, which is his forced emotional arcs. I also think he has a problem with unvaried and immature dialogue, although at the end of the day, he's still able to create a very fun movie. And Suicide Squad was that. A lot of fun. Listen, this film shouldn't have done it for me, but it did. A musical has to hit a very certain sweet spot for me to like it, but oh boy, this one struck a note. It had a somewhat Shakespearean and grand scale to everything that always progressed through the music and carefully crafted art direction. And this is a movie that I will almost certainly never watch again, but for the time that I did watch it, it was lovely. I found it to be as equally funny as it was also filled with dark paranoia. Jim Cummings continues to dominate with every film he's done thus far, and this film may not have totally grabbed me at first, but it really stuck with me throughout time. And after doing some research and giving it a rewatch, I liked it a little bit more. I think this did contain the most intense scene of the year, concerning a coffee shop. For those of you that have seen it, my jaw was dropped and I was just absorbed by the film. This was such a small and simple film that had so much to say. In particular, it had a lot to say about power structures and America in general. Everybody is truly incredible here, and I love what Sean Baker does with casting, but newcomer Susanna Storm is amazing here. Simon Rex is the talk of the town, dipping his toes into a different genre with this, and Simon and Susanna share such a layered and lovely chemistry with one another that just glues your eyes to the screen. The ending I still question, which is good, and man, does Sean Baker know how to make an ending. This, to me, was the biggest surprise of the year. It subverted expectations on all levels, so I will keep it on the hush-hush, and you can go and watch it on Hulu, you fuck. First off, Nicolas Cage gives one of the best performances of the year, of his whole career, damn it. And it is a dark and emotionally satisfying journey of a man trying to get his goddamn pig back and right some of the wrongs of his past. The music, the score, the pacing, the tone, this film just did it all so damn good, and I'm so excited to see what Michael does next. So I already did a handstanding review of this, which you can go and check out right now. Oh god. Oh, so much to say. So little time. And I say more there, but here I'll say that it is a plotless adventure through the late 70s that is boosted by these very well realized and ultimately broken characters played brilliantly by Alana Haim and Cooper Hoffman. And they are just a joy to watch together. Their chemistry bleeds off the screen. Here in Licorice Pizza, everybody's gotta love the coked out Bradley Coopers. And I just want to give a quick shout out to, I believe, Harriet Sansom Harris. And she brought such a unique and intense performance to her little scene. My biggest problem with it is that the ending feels a little bit rushed compared to the flow of the rest of the film. I thought it'd be over by now. Amongst the mass public, this was probably the most influential piece of art created this past year. I mean, it's a cathartic piece of work that just spoke to a lot of people. And I'm not afraid to include it, damn it. It's essentially a concert art house film, okay? This is no comedy special. I even got to see it in the theater, which was really special. There's no sugarcoating it, but Bo is an absolute genius. And this wonderful piece of art he made came at the right time in society. But it is still a miracle to see what Burnham did with so little. So this is one I gotta see again, but this might be my favorite Wes Anderson film. It was such a well-crafted film that told 3 meaningful stories about different art forms. I mean, it's consistently engaging and moves swiftly through these tales. As per usual with Anderson, there's so much to admire with every single camera movement, every carefully constructed set and costume, the dry and absurd performances that the ensemble gives. And I feel like I originally thought that Wes Anderson went full Anderson with the Grand Budapest Hotel, but this somewhat feels even more Wes Anderson-y. This film really touched my soul. It's an earnest and soft film about connection between different generations, and Mills is able to get such fun and honest performances out of his actors, and newcomer Woody Norman is an absolute sensation. I mean, my God, this kid's good. And this film is just beautiful. I feel like really anybody can watch this. Just got such a nice warm feeling, like it wraps you up in a blanket and swaddles you like a little baby. I mean, is this maybe the most divisive film of the year? I don't know. I feel like everybody I talked to has loved it, but everybody I see write about it online is kind of indifferent. I just thought this film had a little bit of everything. It was a brilliant social commentary on how we react to stuff in general and how the rich just can't get enough. I also love the editing. It was just the right amount to throw in / cut to more jokes and add information. And the ending of the film was a combination of so many different emotions that really made me rethink life and the current state of humanity. I could give this film so much praise, but realistically, you've probably seen it, and if you haven't, get a Netflix account and go fucking watch it. I want to give a big shout out to Nicholas Britell. He creates a powerful and progressive score that perfectly fits the tone of the film. It also elevates every single scene that it's in. I mean, the film was funny, it had good commentary, it was emotional, it was powerful, but I guess I can see how it may not be everybody's cup of tea. And that's been my cup of tea. Everybody, please go check out my new video that is a nice companion piece to this one. It's just something I've wanted to do for a long time. It's a montage of a bunch of films from this year, and please go give it some love. Put a lot of work into that one, and it's not long, so just give it a nice little watch. Also, get the Letterboxd app. It is like the social media for filmmakers, and that's where you get early access to ratings and reviews of the shit that I watch. Last but not least, just thank you. There's more to come. I'll be having new videos every Saturday, and that'll be the end of that. I'll grab onto your ankle and fucking, I don't know. Oh, I'm a fucking dummy. You okay, mate?